जय। जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्रजकाचार्य अष्टोत्तर शतशिष्य श्रीमान के श्री भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती गोस्वामी ठाकुर महाराज की जय।
जय
अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय।
जय
इस्कॉन फाउंडराचार्य शिल प्रभुपाद की जय।
जय
नामाचार्य शिल हरिदास ठाकुर की जय।
जय
तो जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद की जय।
जय
आज श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोप श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरि गोवर्धन की जय।
जय
मथुरा वृंदावन धाम की जय।
जय
नवद्वीप मायापुर धाम की जय।
जय
पुरुषोत्तम श्री जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की जय।
जय
इस्कॉन फिलाडेल्फिया की जय।
जय
जय श्री राधा शरद बिहारी की जय।
जय
जय श्री जगन्नाथ बलदेव सुभद्रा महारानी की जय।
जय
जय श्री गौर निताय की जय।
जय
मवेत गौर भक्त वृंद की
जय
all glories to the devotees.
Hare Krishna
All glories to the devotees.
Hare Krishna
All glories to the devotees.
Hare Krishna
All glories, all glories, all glories to the Guru, Sri Gauranga, Hari Hari Bol.
Hare Hare Bol.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Good morning, everyone. We will begin a new chapter today. There are actually two verses assigned to me. The Canto 2 of Srimad Bhagavatam, the Cosmic Manifestation, Chapter 7, entitled Scheduled Incarnations with Specific Functions, and text 1 and 2. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om
Om
Namo
Namo
Bhagavate
Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om
Om
Namo
Namo
Bhagavate
Bhagavate
Vasudevaya.
Vasudevaya.
So this will go in different meter, looks like. Brahma Vacha Yatra Dhyata Kshitithalodharanaya Vibra Kaudim Tanum Sakala Yagyamai Manantam Antar Maharnava Upagato Madi Daityaham Tam Drashtram Yadi Miva Vajradharo Darara. Brahma Vacha Yatra Data Kshititaladharanaya Vibra Prodim Tanum Sakalayagyamai Mananta Antar Maharnava Upagato Madita Daityam Tam Drashtrayadrimiva Vajradharo Darara. Brahma Vacha Yatra Dhyata Kshitithalodharanaya Vibra Kaudim Tanum Sakalayagyamai Mananta Antar Mahanava Upagata Madi Daityam Tam Drashtrayadrimiva Vajradhara Darara. You can recite in the same, or if you recite different, please do so. Feel comfortable. We can do if it's comfortable. Yatra datakshi titalabdharanaya bibrat Prodhim tanum sakalayagyamai mananta Antar mahanava upagato madi daityam Tam drashtam yadrimiva vajradharo darara. Please do so.
Brahma uvacha yatto dayataha kristi talo uddharanaya bibhat kaudim tanum sakala agna mayim ananta antar mahavarni daitam tam drashtrayadrim Iva Braja Dharo Dadara. Hare Krishna.
Thank you.
Brahma Uvacha
यत्रोदयत क्षितितरोद्धरणाय बिभ्रत् क्रौद्रीं तनुं सकलयज्ञमयम् अनन्त अन्तर्महर्नव उपगतम् आदिदैत्यं तं दंष्ट्रयाद्रिम् इव व्रजधरो ददरा.
Very good. Thank you.
ब्रह्म उवाच यत्रोद्यताक्षितितलोधरणाय बिभ्रत् क्रौडीं तनुं सकलयज्ञमयीमनन्ता अन्तर्महार्णव उपागतम् आदिदैत्यं तं दंष्ट्रयाद्रीम् इव वज्रधरो ददार.
Thank you. Anyone else want to try?
Hare Krishna.
Hmm.
Rama uvacha yatrodayatah shititalodaranaya vibrata क्रोडीं तनुं सकलयज्ञमयीम अनन्तः अन्तर्महर्णाव उपागतम् आदिदैत्यं तमतं स्त्रयाद्रिम् इव वज्रधरो ददार. Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Anyone else want to try? So we go to synonyms. Okay. Synonyms. We have 2 verses today we will be doing. Brahma Vacha. Lord Brahma said, Yatra, at the time when Udyataha attempted, Kshititala, the planet Earth, Uddharanaya, for the matter of lifting, Bibrat, assumed, Krodim, pastimes, Tanum, form, Sakala, total, Yagyamayim, all-inclusive sacrifices, Ananta, the unlimited, Antar, within the universe, Maha Arnave, the great Garva ocean, Upagatam, having arrived at, Adi, the first, Daityam, demon, Tam, him, Damstraya, by the tusk, Adrim, the flying mountains, Eva, like, Vajradhara, the controller of the thunderbolts, Dadara, pierced. Translation: Lord Brahma said, when the unlimitedly powerful Lord assumed the form of a boar as a pastime, just to lift the planet Earth, which is drowned in the great ocean of the universe called the Garvadaka, the first demon, Hiranyaksha, appeared, and the Lord pierced him with his tusk. Purport: since the beginning of creation, the demons and the demigods, or the Vaishnavas, are always 2 classes of living beings to dominate the planets of the universe. Lord Brahma is the first demigod, and Hiranyaksha is the first demon in this universe. Only under certain conditions do the planets float as weightless balls in the air. And as soon as these conditions are disturbed, the planets may fall down in the Garvada ocean, which cover half of the universe. The other half is the spherical dome within which the innumerable planetary systems exist. The floating of the planets in the weightless air is due to the inner constitution of the globes and the modernized drilling of the earth to exploit oil from within is a sort of disturbance by the modern demons and can result in a greatly harmful reaction to the floating condition of the earth. A similar disturbance was created formerly by the demons headed by Hiranyaksha, the great exploiter of the gold rush. And the earth was detached from its weightless condition and fell down into the Garvada ocean. The Lord, as the maintainer of the whole creation of the material world, therefore assumed the gigantic form of a boar with a proportionate snout and picked up the earth from within the water of Garvadaka. Sri Jayadeva Goswami, the great Vaishnava poet, sang as follows: Basati dasana sikare dasani tabalagna sasini kalanka kalevani magna keshavadita sukararupa jaya jagadi sahare. O Kesava, O Supreme Lord, who have assumed the form of a boar, O Lord, the planet Earth rested on your tusks, and it appeared like the moon engraved with spots. Such is the symptom of the incarnation of the Lord. The incarnation of the Lord is not the concocted idea of the fanciful man who create an incarnation out of imagination. The incarnation of the Lord appeared under certain extraordinary circumstances, like the above-mentioned occasion. And the incarnation performs a task which is not even imaginable by the tiny brain of mankind. The modern creators of the many cheap incarnations may take note of the factual incarnation of God as the gigantic boar with a suitable snout to carry the planet Earth. When the Lord appeared to pick up the earth, the demon of the name Hiranyaksha tried to create a disturbance in the methodical functions of the Lord, and therefore he was killed by being pierced by the Lord's tusk. According to Srila Jiva Goswami, the demon Hiranyaksha was killed by the hand of the Lord. Therefore, his version is that after being killed by the hand of the Lord, the demon was pierced by the tusk. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur confirms this version. So we'll do the second one also. I will try to, this is the two scheduled incarnations we are covering today. Jato ruchera janayat suyamani suyagya akuti suniramanarānatha dakshinayam loka trayasya mahati mahadarada yadarthim swayam bhuvena manuna hariritya nyukta. The translation here is, the Prajapati first begot Suyagya in the womb of his wife Akuti. And then Suyagya begot demigods headed by Suyama in the womb of his wife Dakshina. Suyagya as the Indradev diminished very great miseries in the three planetary systems, upper, lower, and immediate. And because he so diminished the miseries of the universe, he was later called Hari by the great father of mankind, namely Swayambhu Manu. And this is for incarnation of Suyagya as incarnation purport by Srila Prabhupada. In order to guard against the invention of unauthorized incarnations of God by the fanciful, less intelligent persons, the name of the father of the bona fide direct incarnation is also mentioned in the authorized revealed scriptures. No one, therefore, can be accepted as an incarnation of the Lord as if his father's name, as well as the name of the village or place in which he appears, is not mentioned by the authorized scriptures. In the Bhagavad Purana, the name of the Kalki incarnation, which is take place in almost 400,000 years, is mentioned along with the name of his father and the name of the village in which he will appear. A sane man, therefore, does not accept any cheap edition of an incarnation without reference to the authorized scriptures. Om Ajnana Timirandhasya Jnananjana Salakaya Chakshuran Militam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Namo Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirbisesa Sunyavadi Paschyata Desatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Sivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Lord Brahma said, when the unlimited powerful Lord assumed the great ocean of the universe called the Garbhodaka, the first demon Hiranyaksha appeared, and the Lord pierced him with his tusk. Hare Krishna. Good morning. I would like to seek blessings and permissions for all the assembled Vaishnavas before I start sharing the scheduled incarnations today. Primarily, we are reading 2 incarnations today, remembering the Supreme Personality of Godhead, because all these narrations are coming because of Parikshit Maharaj's request. Parikshit Maharaj requested Sukadeva Goswami. He requested that, how this universe, this material universe looks to be such a wonderful. And to manage this, maintain this, to create this is inconceivable act. How does the Lord does all this such function? How this has been done? Parikshit Maharaj is very inquisitive to know how the Lord engages his different analogies in the creation. And yet he remains transcendental to all these activities. This is inconceivable. So Parikshit Maharaj desired his from Sukadeva Goswami, please explain on this pastime, because this is also pastime of the Lord. And not only that, he also said, we would please explain also the wonderful pastimes, transcendental activities of the Lord. They appear inconceivable because his activity, the Lord's activities are unique. Thus, these 2 verses, both the verses, Prabhupada stresses that transcendental activities of the Lord are Leela, and they are not ordinary. They're inconceivable. They're very sweet and cannot be performed by the ordinary human beings. So both the verses in both the verses, Prabhupada challenges the unauthorized, unbona fide incarnations, and we will discuss a little more on this. So, by hearing Parikshit Maharaj such question, Sukadeva Goswami practically meditated on the Supreme Personality of Godhead and systematically remembered in all his activities. He offered so many prayers to Supreme Lord to help him narrate this. Several prayers the Lord of Sukadeva Goswami offered. Then he offered his prayers to spiritual master, Vyasdev. Then he started summarizing, narrating. And by remembering the Supreme Lord, what did he remember? He remembered the similar question has been asked, similar conversation had happened at the beginning of the Kalpa, this Kalpa also, between Lord Brahma and Narada, where Narada also asked such questions to Brahmaji. He said, all these things, such a wonderful is done. You're creating such varieties of objects in this material world, living and not living. So many objects you're creating in this. Everything in your control. Everything in your control. Because a person who is seeing in his eyes, they believe what they see. And everyone sees the Lord Brahma is creating. And Lord Vishnu, the original creator, the cause of everything is unseen. He cannot be seen just like that, as Lord Brahma offers this prayer. No one can see him just like this in these eyes. So physically one can see, Lord Brahma is actually Lord and Master and the Creator. Everything happens. He said that, everything happens, just everything is in your fist, in your clutches. So my dear father, can you please explain how you are able to do this? Do you have your any source, or you are all in all? Do you stand under someone's protection, blessings? Please explain to me. This is a great question, because in parampara, in disciplic succession, we come to know by inquiring, by making such inquiries. Who is the cause of all causes? So by such questions which Narad has asked, similar whatever Lord Brahma has explained, same thing Sukadeva Goswami is explaining to Parikshit Maharaj. So Lord Brahma says that, oh yeah, thank you for asking this question, because this is definitely bewildering. And I could be bewildered, because if I am creating all these things, I can be very puffed up. But by asking this question, it's not helping others, you're helping me as well. Because it reminds me that I'm not the doer. Right? It reminds me that I'm not the doer. There's somebody superior to me. So by asking this question, I'm also get purified. So then Lord Brahma explains to Narad Muni that how that he has been created along with other demigods, along with other ingredients. The Supreme Lord, he creates, from his Brahma Jyoti, all the material creations comes into existence. And that Brahma Jyoti is resting upon the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. And from this material creation comes, all this different kind of gunas. From different kind of gunas, and Satya Guna is one of them. From Satya Guna, Brahma also comes. Brahma comes, and many other demigods, they come in Satya Guna. So in this material world, there are so many things, they appear to be very inconceivable, very powerful. Wow, look how powerful person he is. So they have the Lord's opulence in it. But even though they may appear to be so powerful, so truth, but actually they are saying, it is said that Lord Brahma is saying that they're actually only a fragment of the Lord's transcendental potency of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So that's what he stated, Lord Brahma, convinced that we all are very insignificant, even though we can be seen as if like very powerful, but we are very insignificant and portion of the potency of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, nothing else. Now, Lord Brahma, upon the request of, Sukadeva Goswami, upon the request of Parikshit Maharaj, also explains how the Lord manages, creates and maintains by different incarnations. So today's primary subject is focusing today and in this chapter is how different incarnations in brief we'll be discussing. Now, Brahma is explaining this Leela avatar, the transcendental incarnations of the Lord known as Leela avatars. By hearing these activities, what happens? It counteracts all foul matters accumulated in the year. It's very interesting. Yeah. Foul matters, we may have so many conceptions, so many theories we hear about the incarnations, Leela avatar. Now I shared something from Srimad Bhagavatam. One of my friends responds that they write this thing about Ganapati also. Like so many philosophies, so many theories everywhere there. By hearing from these bona fide sources, by how God is great, but how great he is, then one will be free from this foul matters, all this wrong perceptions has created in our mind and hearts. So these pastimes are very pleasing to hear, and they're relished. Therefore, they're very dear to Lord Brahma himself. So let me share it again. This is just a background I wanted to share. So today's brief, the first incarnation is on the Varaha, boar incarnation pastime. He said, when the unlimited powerful Lord assumed the form of a boar as a pastime, just to lift the planet Earth, which is drowned in the great ocean of the universe called Garvadaka. The first demon Hiranyaksha appeared, and the Lord pierced him with his tusk. So there is an interesting point here. Many of us are familiar with boar incarnation, Varaha avatar, and these incarnations are actually pastimes. It is a primary, it says it's Leela of the Lord. As a pastime, the Lord performs. He performs Leela. He can do many other ways, but he performs this Leela to inspire the devotee's heart, to inspire Brahma, especially here. He has taken this birth. Now, this Varaha incarnation did not happen only once. It can happen many times. Bhagavatam explains two different incidents of this Lord's incarnation. One in Swayambhava Manu, the other one is, if I remember, Chaksusa Manvantara. During this particular verse is referred to as during the Swayambhava Manu, as I understand. So, second point here is just to lift the planet Earth, which is drowned in the great ocean of the universe called the Garvadaka ocean. Now, a little more again, ocean here. So there are different oceans we see, but prominent we see is that the salt water, which is very prominent on this earth. But Prabhupada, as he explains, this whole universe, in half of the universe is filled with water. Then that filling lower portion, that filled water is a Garvadaka ocean. Garvadaka ocean, and above on the top portion of the universe are the 14 planetary systems. So in the 14 planetary systems, these planets, they actually float like a weightless balls with certain conditions. Everything in this material world, they work under certain conditions. Example, you're flying up the airplane. The flying of the airplane, it cannot fly in all circumstances. Many times if you hear that there's too much bad weather, wind, hurricane, they stop flying because it won't fly during that time. It will fall. So these devices are meant to work only in certain conditions. Right? You buy some electronics, sometimes if it's too much humid, moisture, that doesn't work because it won't work under certain that conditions. So similarly, all the planets here, as described here, they float under certain condition as weightless balls. And as soon as these conditions are disturbed, the planets may fall down in the Garvadaka ocean. Because when you fall, where will fall? Just like aeroplane falls. Where it will fall? It will fall on the earth. But what will happen when the earth falls? Right? It won't go in the space, right? They don't have any idea. So it won't go on it will fall on the Garvadaka ocean. So similarly, and why this happens, Prabhupada gives an analogy that, when this condition is disturbed, when any material condition is disturbed, there can be disturbance in the nature and there can be imbalance. So, and Prabhupada gives an example as in this time, the oil is there's an oil hunt all the time. Oil is being utilized so much throughout the world, and that's the wealth. That's the source of energy, principal source of energy so far at this time. So Prabhupada writes that such kind of act is also very demonic because it's against the nature. Why it's against the nature? Because if one drills like this and exploits this oil from this earth, it can create disturbance. We're already seeing the disturbance in the nature. At the same time, there can be disturbance on the position of the earth. It can result in great harmful reactions to the floating condition of the earth. So everything has its own mechanical setup, and one cannot disturb it. One has to live based by following the laws of this nature, which is coming from the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But those who reject the laws of the Supreme, that's called demons. And one demon primarily here mentioned is Prabhupada Sukadeva Goswami Brahma particularly explains here that first demon, first Devata is Brahma and first demon is Hiranyaksha. So when the time comes to rescue the earth from the Garvedic ocean by the prayer of Lord Brahma, when Varahadev appears to perform his pastimes, he enters into the Garvedic ocean. During that time, Hiranyaksha, being disturbed, he attacks Lord Varaha. He attacks Lord Varaha. And during that time, what happens? Varahadev, there's a fierce fight takes place between Lord Varahadev and Hiranyaksha. And Hiranyaksha gets killed. That's why there's a here the details, some versions it may say that Hiranyaksha, Lord Varahadev killed him by his tusk, and some maybe said that he's killed by his hand. But here Prabhupada writes that all the acharyas agree that yes, he has been killed by hand, then pierced by the tusk. And this is the wonderful action, pastimes, one of the wonderful pastimes by the Lord who has been taken place to enter into the Garvedic ocean, which is unusual. No one can do this, and rescue the earth through his tusk. This beauty, this activity of the Lord has been glorified. So this is one of the inconceivable pastimes of the Supreme Lord. Everything of the Lord is inconceivable. That's why Prabhupada says, such is the symptom of incarnation of the Lord. The incarnation of the Lord is not the concocted idea of fanciful man who create an incarnation out of imagination. It's not that happens. Anybody, there can be unlimited incarnations. You can be incarnate, I can be incarnate. Every day new incarnation they come. And Prabhupada challenges this. The incarnation of the Lord appears under certain extraordinary circumstances, like the above mentioned occasion. Again, the incarnation of the Lord appears under certain extraordinary circumstances. If Brahma could resolve, other devatas can resolve, the Lord doesn't have to come. It's extraordinary circumstances only. But in this age of Kali, we hear that every day there's a new incarnations are coming up, right? You all are familiar with. And by giving a short time, I'll proceed to the next incarnation, which is mentioned about Suyagya. Here it says that the Prajapati first begot Suyagya in the womb of his wife Akuti. And then Suyagya begot demigods headed by Suyama in the womb of his wife Dakshina. Suyagya, as the Indradev, diminished the very great miseries of the three planetary systems. And because he so diminished the miseries of this universe, he was later called Hari by the great father of mankind, namely Swayambhuva Manu. So this appears like these pastimes also appear during the Swayambhuva Manu. So in Brahma's Kalpa, there are 14 Manvantaras happens, right? And the first one is called Swayambhuva Manu. And during that time, here if you see, many times it's explained that when the Lord cannot find a suitable person to become Brahma, he becomes Brahma. Or when the Lord finds that cannot find a suitable person to become Manu, he becomes Manu. Or when he does not find a suitable person to become Indra, he also becomes Indra. So in this Manvantara, appears like Lord has become Indra by the name of Suyagya. So I'll give you a little summary, which is explained in the fourth canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, genealogical tables of the daughters of Manu. There, the Swayambhuva Manu had 2 sons and 3 daughters. And 3 daughters are Akuti, Devavati, and Prasuti. So Swayambhuva Manu gave one of his daughter, Akuti, to Prajapati Ruchi, with a condition that the son born, when the son is born out of Akuti, Swayambhuva Manu will take that son. So this is the way they discussed and gave his daughter Akuti to Prajapati Ruchi. So due course of time, of course, from Ruchi, Prajapati Ruchi and Akuti, the child is born. That one boy and one girl, they both born. This is an interesting story. So, and the boy, the boy who is born is called Yagya, or called Suyagya. And female child is also, and is actually incarnation of the Lord. Yagya is incarnation of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and the female child is also the incarnation of Lakshmi. It's called Dakshina. So Yagya and Dakshina, both born from Ruchi and Prajapati Ruchi and Akuti. But when the child is born, as per the condition and understanding, Ruchi has to give the boy Suyagya back to Swayambhuva Manu, and Ruchi and Akuti also came back. But the daughter Dakshina remained with Prajapati Ruchi. Now, interestingly, due course of time, even though they are born from the same Ruchi and Akuti, they both got married. I think Prabhupada writes here, they both got married because they are not under the clutches of the material laws of this nature. They're exactly the Supreme Personality of Godhead and Lakshmi, his eternal consort Lakshmi. The Lord and his eternal consort, they do not come under the rules of this material law. They don't come under the rules of this material law. The material laws, which applies to us, is only for our own purification. The Lord is never been impure; He's always purified states. The matter cannot touch him. So these incarnations have, Suyagya and Dakshina, they got married, and Suyagya became Indra. And Suyagya became Indra. He actually, as per the pastimes here mentioned, that he helped by establishing dharma in 3 planetary systems. That's why Swayambhuva Manu is called him as Hari. That's why the Lord's another name is Hari, who actually, Hari means who destroys the obstacles, all the problems of the living entities in this material world. So, in summary, Prabhupada also writes that who is Yagya, where is born, what is father's name, what is mother's name, and all those incarnations are already mentioned in the Shastras, previous incarnations and future incarnations and current one also. So there's no point for anyone to manipulate this, create unwanted disturbance in the society by creating unbonafide incarnations. So every incarnation has, time, place, father, mother, and their activities is already described. So this is the in summary that today we discussed. One is incarnation of Varahadev. The other one is incarnation of Lord Hari, or Suyagya, who is the incarnation of Lord Vishnu, to help Swayambhuva Manu diminish the miseries of this universe, of this whole planetary systems. So with this, I would like to stop it here, pause it here, and see if any comments, questions. I know it's a little technical, and very short time, Sukadeva Goswami later he describes the detailed pastimes of this. Any comments, questions before we stop here? The similar incident also happens with the son of Vena, Prithu Maharaj. When Prithu Maharaj also appeared from the body of the churning of the body of Vena, and the Supreme Lord appeared, and Lakshmi also appeared as his eternal concept from the same body. So similarly here also from Ruchi, Prajapati Ruchi, and what's the name? Akuti, Ruchi and Akuti Suyagya and Dakshina, they born, but they got married. They had the children. He's the incarnation of the Supreme Personality. Sorry if I made it very complicated.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Yeah, I found it very complicated.
Yeah,
I think
because two leelas are there.
Yeah.
First,
I-
and second thing is the first incarnation, which Lord Varahadev, that itself is complicated because there are also two incarnations happen. I mean, two times. Bhagavatam explains two times. Yeah, please go ahead.
I have question. You said Suyagya was married to whom?
That's
His sister?
yeah. In material way, we can see as a sister, but he appeared. They appeared as Supreme Personality of Godhead.
Appeared.
They appeared as Supreme Personality of Godhead. I think. Let me share it here. I should be in the purport. Yeah. Of the two children born of Akuti, the male child was directly an incarnation of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. It's not a human child. And his name was Yagya, which is another name of Lord Vishnu. The female child is a partial incarnation of Lakshmi, the goddess of fortune, the eternal concept of the Lord.
Okay. And I have another question. The Hiranyaksha was in the Garbhodak ocean?
Yeah.
And how did he come into existence?
How he came to
existence? How did he appear there?
Generally, Danavas, Hiranyaksha, Hiranyakashipu, they rule. Lower planetary systems are called for the Danavas. Upper planetary system is for the Devatas. And they have access to everywhere. When anyone comes to your area, right? Oh, who are you? And especially the ocean is also full of treasures. And when someone comes, they attack. So when Hiranyaksha, he can enter into the water. He can enter into the water because they rule even the other pastimes also. When we see the pastime of Lord Nrsimhadev, you see Hiranyaksha, Hiranyakashipu, the master of all these three worlds. That includes the water body as well. Yeah. And the second thing is, particularly this ocean is referring to the Garbhodak ocean, which is below all the planetary systems. So basically, when Lord Varahadev was bringing up the getting this earth in his task, he came and attacked.
Okay, so he existed before Brahma appeared.
No, not before Brahma appeared. After Brahma appeared, he also came because because demons, they come from one mode of passion and ignorance only. First from mode of goodness, Brahma appeared. Then due course of time, all other generations, they come. Right?
Okay, so first Brahma appeared. Then only he appeared. Not before that.
No. That we discussed in the previous chapters also, as who all came first from mode of goodness. Sun God came and Brahma came, and like this, they have come. Then all other species from Brahma's body, the demons comes, right? Different demons also comes. So, yeah, they appear from the Brahma's body, but
Okay.
yeah, they appear from the Brahma's body is like a creating machine.
Okay, so he appeared from there. Okay.
Just
I
like
thought we
Lord Shiva also comes from Brahma's body. Narada comes from Brahma's body, you know.
okay.
But different parts of the body, different personalities comes.
Yeah, okay. Okay, thank you. Thank you, Hare Krishna. Thank you.
And particularly Hiranyaksha, if you see Hiranyaksha, Hiranyakashipu in other pastimes, when in the pastime of Nrsimhadev we'll discuss, there Hiranyaksha will come from the womb of Diti and Diti and Kashyapa Muni. And Kashyapa Muni comes from the Lord Brahma. He is also Prajapati. So there are two incidents here mentioned. One incident of Hiranyaksha mentioned during Lord Swayambhava Manu. The other incident is mentioned during Chakshusha Manvantara, I think. If I remember, it's a Chakshusha Manvantara. Makes sense? Because every Lord takes incarnation different times, different mantras, different kalpas. So Bhagavatam is not just mentions about one for this yuga cycle. Bhagavatam explains the incarnation taking place during the one day of the Brahma and life of the Brahma, or before the life of the Brahma itself, when the creation takes place. Those are also been discussed in summary.
Yeah, okay. Okay, thank you.
Okay, yeah.
Really, it's complicated.
But little bit, we got the light in the beginning. Now slowly we are going to know more.
Yeah, we got two verses. That's a lot to digest. Thankful to Mother Dasovarade for me to rush.
Yeah.
Any other comments, questions? Well, it's not
Hare
very.
Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah, when I was reading that part of like the Akuti, right, and Swambhav Monu and Ruchi. So I was get also like confused, but you said like you explained that very nicely, Prabhu. Like, God is not coming under the material regulations. Yeah, so this is actually the true thing.
Yes, we follow the rules and regulations for our own purification. Basically, if you look into the life, living entity is pure, eternal pure, but when you come in contamination of the material nature, we get impure. So whole process of evolution from one species to another, from one body to another, is purpose of from low species is actually purification process. That's why whatever the samskaras we do also is a purification process. That's why we follow the Manu Samhita rules and regulations human society is given. Human society, this should be followed, rules and regulations like that. So Devatas also have their own rules and regulations. So all these rules and regulations are for the conditioned souls, not to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Because we try to see things with our own conditioned eyes, like conditioned glasses. Oh, it's supposed to be like this. Yeah, it's true for us. But Supreme Lord is beyond the clutches of all these things. Akela Krishna Arasabu Bhrutta. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, only Krishna, the Supreme Personality of God, is enjoyed. All other are enjoyed. All other are enjoyed. They are enjoyed by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So enjoyed is Prakriti, enjoyed is the Purusa. Right? But it's not there's no such connection between it's material enjoyment. It's a transcendental enjoyment. It's a different platform. Material enjoyment is only placed, on the platform of sexual platform, sensual platform. But the transcendental pleasure is integral part of the Lord's potencies. Satchit Ananda. So the rules and regulations are only for people who are in the prison. Otherwise, only enjoy the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He comes as the Supreme Personality. He appears as the incarnation of Vishnu. And is in concealed potency. With him, Lord also comes, Mother Lakshmi also comes. Then they perform these pastimes of getting married and becoming Indra and all these things to help Swayambhavu Manu, to destroy the problems. If this goes to the wrong people's hand, they will try challenge our shastras, say how this can happen, how this could happen. In your shastras talks about marriage of brother and sister. It's not true.
Yes, Prabhu. I was like worried about that too.
Yeah. So this is not true. It's not a brother and sister. They are not bodies made of human body, made of blood, flesh, and everything. Dakshina is Antaranga Sakti, and Suyagya is the Swayam Supreme Personality of Godhead. They came in to perform pastime. The Lord is free. He can perform in any way he wants to perform pastimes. That's why it is made clear by Brahma that he is Supreme Personality of Godhead. Hare Krishna. Mother Golokananda Priya, you want to add something here? Okay, we'll stop it here. Thank you so much. Grantraj.
Thank you very much, Prabhu.
Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Shloka.
Yeah.
Vacha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha.
Namo Namo.